boy, has the world changed, and Jesus, property has changed around it as well. To give you an idea, today we're going to talk about car spaces with properties, particularly commercial, and how that's changed in the last couple of years. It's incredible.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak. Talk episode, what is it? 548?
548.
Talking about car spaces, parking, loading areas, as Mark said in the intro, especially when it comes to retail. And we're seeing the demand for this accessibility, especially for Deliveroo customers, stop and go. That could mean parking spaces are worth more than the actual property itself, which I think we're going to start seeing it a lot in designs for new buildings. Like a lot of new buildings now, Mark, they would have been approved or planned 2 to 4 years ago, but the surge we're seeing in delivery and that takeaway business is thriving, like to the extent KFC Broadmeadow in Newcastle has opened their first drive-through only KFC. So no dining. I'll show some images, but Mark, the delivery, like we're talking about car space, but talk about why that is, the drive and how sort of retail food delivery business has changed, and not just through COVID. We saw the trend well before this.
Yeah, that's right. And guys, I think you've all got to have a good, long, hard think about, and look, why is this important? If you've got these evil powers of projection, or you can read the play, or you can see around blind corners, you can almost monetize that. You can do well from that. So I think the big question is a lot of the stuff that we're seeing around us with COVID and with how the world's changed, with Zoom conferencing, with not having less belly-to-belly interactions. I think that if you start molding your property and your business around that, that's one thing temporarily. But if you identify that there's a permanent trend there, that's when you can really start to milk it. So there's you look at that KFC, Verge, far out. Amazing. Who would ever think that we would not get angry for KFC setting up and not giving us a restaurant we can sit inside? These customers are more than happy to not be given a table and chairs at all and eat out of their car, or take that food home and eat in the park or something.
It's an insane trend. It's just like when you look back at Woolworths taking away the human labor and having it basically serving yourself. How genius. Imagine if a shop said to you, so you're going to go walk around the shop yourself, pick up your own food, and then serve yourself to take it away. Like you sort of think, I want someone to do that for me, scan my own items, tell me what it's cost. Like it's changing. And as you said, savvy investors pick these trends and put their money where it is. A lot of people always like, I want to buy somewhere where, I don't know, a hospital's going to be built or a uni or the zone's changing, which is so much harder where you can, because you're like, it's easier to spot a trend, both very difficult, but easier to spot a trend and try and align whatever you do that way. It may be like people spot trends, buy shares, spot trends, open up a business, spot trends, or buy a property that will fit those trends. So like,
hey, Bird. Yes. You know what I was laughing at? Cook it yourself.
Yeah.
Cook it yourself, KFC. We'll give the ingredients. We'll give you the dishes, and we'll clean up after you. Like, what's next?
Soon it will be that. Go to the restaurant and we'll have it all ready for you, but you cook it. Like, I'm sure there's stuff out there like that. But back to what we're talking about. Retail properties with parking spaces, loading areas. It's like we've had a couple. Mark talks like the Roger Street one because of this.
All right. So the thing that blew my mind, and that sort of got us thinking, was we've just done a deal with a major Australian food fast food company, and I'm not going to give away the suburb because it's almost a dead giveaway where it is, and it is confidential at the moment. But it is Northern Beaches. But get this, we had an 800-metre squared floor plate, so it was a glassed commercial premises, 800 metres squared. Now, 800 metres squared is as big as one huge block of land or two small blocks of land, all like beautiful, right? So the building's being built. And guess what these guys asked us for? This food company has asked for 2/3 of the glass to be removed, and they want to make it a drive-through. And it's like, yeah, but you're going to be paying the same price as a glassed 800-metre squared office. And they're like, yeah, we know, we don't care about the price. We just want drive-through. And I thought to myself, oh, my God, the emphasis now that these guys have on delivery, and the emphasis these, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, the emphasis these guys have on potential drive-through is far, far superior than in dining inside, and far superior than customers coming to visit them and park, and it's weird. So it's changed our model.
Well, back in the day, it would have been like, I want to have room for 100 seats inside. But now it's like, I'm happy to sacrifice that, pay the same, because I know I'm going to make tenfold on the income generated. And that's really good, savvy thinking. I think this holds back a lot of business owners or operators looking to go in, because they're like, no, let's say for that example, they would be like, well, I'm only using 300 and the rest is parking now. So I only want to pay the rate on the 300. And they sort of head screw themselves on that, because an owner's like, well, no, why would I cut the shop in half to give you parking drive-through to reduce my rent? It's all in one. Where the savvy investor's like, I need that space. I would rather, yes, I have 300, make the rest parking, but I'm going to be making a lot more sales. And sometimes it's not even about making more sales, it's making it saleable. We get that along a lot with Property Mark, where people are like, well, if I do this, how much extra am I going to get on the price? And sometimes it's like, it's not about getting extra. A lot of time in rentals, like painting it carpet, it's not about renting it for more money. It's about, you will be able to rent it, and you'll rent it in a week, rather than trying to find someone who's willing to take it that looks like crap, sort of thing. And generally, when you make it more rentable, saleable, you have more people wanting it, which then drives the price up. But the motivations, the convenience, and making it work for you.
So where we're going with this, guys and girls, what the trend and what's been happening in commercial that we've all observed is that people are joining their shop physically to their car space, physically. And it's no longer parking's 30 metres behind the building, down the driveway, around the corner. It's like, we want it. We want the friggin' car spaces in our shop, like right there. So they're almost like, what do you call them, Burge? We had a couple of words for them. They're like express car spaces, where Deliveroo, Uber Eats, customer can grab a coffee. You're literally in there for... There's 60-second car spaces.
Yeah. And also some operators, they bring in the front glass. Instead of it being on the boundary, they bring it in so people can drive. So instead of having that outdoor seating area, which has been very common, they rather sacrifice floor area again, build the front in so people can drive, stop, run in and get out. The convenience is insane all around. So, like all around scooters, cars, stopping and going. Soon, I'm sure we'll have it with drone technology, so you can have with rooftop space.
Well said.
That would probably be your next one. I know Domino's have
said.
Yeah, I know Domino's have trialed deliveries via drones, so they would be like, we would sacrifice some space. So we've got a loading area. The drone goes in. Amazon are doing it. Like, that's probably your next trend, everybody. There you go.
So welcome in 2021. Welcome to the 60-second car space. You heard it here first.
Yeah. I think it's a wrap. Anything else you want to add on to that?
Nah, the 60-second car space, bang on adjoining your shop. If you want to make big money and you're a commercial tenant, commercial landlord, commercial buyer or seller, that's the stuff you want to start accommodating people for, is the 60-second car space adjoining the shop. That is a moneymaker. Is it going away, Burge?
No, and COVID's just given it the biggest push. I think up into like so many businesses from all aspects really they didn't want to jump on the delivery convenience train. There's a lot like, no, we don't do delivery. And I checked the other day and it's like everything's delivery. Like it's been a big push. It's almost like the people who refused to go to FPOS when it first came out. They're like, cash here. And then they changed to FPOS 10 years later and they put a sign out the front, FPOS accepted. It's like, well, yeah. So I think a lot of businesses will embrace that now and build a model around delivering.
And the operative word's convenience. I think you can't ignore that word and that feature and that aspect of your business. And we know whether it's 60-second car spaces or done digitally on an app or whatever you're doing, I think convenience is a monster that is gets forced unwillingly on people. Probably half the people out there, but it always wins. It always wins. Convenience always wins. So, the guys that resisted FPOS, Burge, and stayed on cash, they lost that battle. The guys that resisted Uber Eats and Deliveroo models, they lost that battle. And convenience will always dominate, come out on top for people. It's looking after people.
Yeah, it's doing, even though it may not be the best financial decision initially for your business, like people go, oh, delivery take X amount %, blah, blah. Like there's so many changes where it may not be the best for the business, but it's the best for the customer and they choose that. Like I look at eBay story and then you look at Amazon. eBay, I'm sort of speculating here because you look at Amazon, eBay, like eBay, it could have easily been Amazon, but they made a conscious decision for people to store their own products and them not store it because it would have been extra cost for them, but it would have been easier to get stuff and quicker delivery for the customer. And then they didn't choose to drive it themselves to the customer. If they stored it, they relied it all on the customer. Better for them because they don't have the cost of the drivers, the cost of the warehousing. Then you look at Amazon model, which was like, no, we want to store everything and have our own drivers so we can get it out instantly. It's a much bigger outlay because they're paying for the property and the drivers, but they get it instant. And look at those two businesses over the last 5 years. That's sort of my like when I looked at both models, that was a big difference. And I'm just guessing of all that, but that's what it sort of looks like to me. And we see it on a much smaller scale with a lot of businesses.
With this car space.
We're losing you.
Just interesting one on Amazon. Sorry, mate. You're back. Just an interesting one on Amazon. I've noticed absolutely no marketing in the last 5 years.
Yeah, never. Nothing in Australia.
It's taken Australia. I've never seen such a violent takeover so quietly done.
Yeah, it's so true. I've never seen an Amazon ad. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, that's a wrap. Thank you everyone for watching.
Have a beautiful day, everyone. Have a great day, Burge.